The LAK Reservoir has provided residents of Newcastle and Weston County with a source of quality outdoor recreation for decades. Several generations have delighted in boating, fishing, and playing in the cool waters of Beaver Creek that stop here briefly before flowing south to provide lifeblood to the dry prairies below. However, the looming threat of the zebra mussel, an aquatic invasive species that wreaks havoc on reservoirs and agricultural operations associated with them, threatens our ability to enjoy this hidden gem nestled between the Black Hills of South Dakota and the high plains of Wyoming. The state of Wyoming and True Ranches, the owners of the LAK, have taken appropriate steps to turn back the invasion, including inspections and a long-term prohibition on motorized watercraft. But those steps will impact many of the lake's traditional uses. While residents will rightfully mourn the loss of some of those historic activities, an opportunity does exist to take advantage of this transition and turn the LAK Reservoir into an even greater benefit for the people of Newcastle and Weston County, and for the state of Wyoming as a whole. The leaders of our state have recognized the vast potential that exists in Wyoming's outdoor recreation opportunities, and the legislature and governor have made a commitment to tapping into that potential by funding an outdoor recreation office and setting aside dollars for grants to create attractions and enhance those that already exist. Wyoming has long benefited from the revenue generated by tourism, but much of that benefit has been limited to places with legitimate tourist attractions, like Jackson, Cody, Sheridan, Cheyenne, and a few others. Despite its proximity to Black Hills attractions like Mount Rushmore and Custer State Park, and the availability of a wealth of public land and recreation opportunities of its own, Weston County has long been on the outside of this exclusive club. A recent study indicated that the county is the second lowest in the state when it comes to generating tourism revenue. But the changes at the LAK Reservoir that have been made necessary by the encroaching zebra mussel could actually make the body of water a more attractive destination for outdoor recreation enthusiasts, and open the door for Weston County to take advantage of the investments the state of Wyoming is making in an effort to build its outdoor recreation economy. It could also give the city of Newcastle and its residents an outdoor recreation attraction that improves their quality of life substantially, while also providing a lure to attract tourists who are visiting the nearby Black Hills of South Dakota, whose dollars could greatly improve and diversify a long-struggling local economy. A partnership between the state of Wyoming, True Ranches, and the Eastern Weston County Recreation District would allow for the purchase and installation of a water sports park that would transform the LAK Reservoir and make it the legitimate tourist attraction Weston County has always needed to lure travelers and their dollars out of the overcrowded Black Hills. The Wyoming Wibit, as we're calling it, would not have been an option for the LAK Reservoir in the past because the constant wakes and waves caused by motorized watercraft would have been a disadvantage. But the elimination of those craft makes the LAK perfect for a water sports park. Use of the sports park would be open to the public, but restricted, supervised, and controlled by personnel employed by the Recreation District. Access to the park would be limited, and a fee would be charged for that access. People who want to use the Wyoming Wibit would pay the fee and be issued a life jacket for the duration of the session. At the end of the session, they would check the life jacket in and purchase space on the Wibit for the next session if it's available. Only those individuals with an issued life jacket are allowed on the Wibit, and access is actually pretty easy for lifeguards to control because of the geography around the lake and the access features on the sports water park itself. The Wyoming Wibit cost a fraction of other indoor or outdoor water features to both build and maintain, and it would provide the local recreation district with a steady source of operational revenue that would allow for continued upkeep and maintenance of not only the LAK Reservoir, but other recreational assets in the community like gymnasiums, an auditorium, and a pool as well. The Recreation District, which is governed by the local school board, could serve as a model for other Wyoming communities and counties who hope to take advantage of the growing popularity of outdoor recreation to diversify their own economies. The Wyoming Wibit would only occupy a small portion of the lake, so there is still plenty of room to enjoy other activities on the water. As such, the Recreation District would provide daily rentals for personal watercraft devices like kayaks, canoes, and stand-up paddleboards. These devices would be inspected and stored at a facility at the LAK itself, so there would be no danger of contamination or infestation from other water sources, and it would serve as another source of revenue for the recreation district. The location of the LAK Reservoir also makes it perfectly suited to serve as a hub for gravel road cycling, one of the fastest growing outdoor recreation pursuits. The Beaver Creek Road, which winds along the east side of the reservoir, connects to a network of other gravel roads that pass through the most picturesque landscape in Weston County. We believe that the management of the recreation district would make it possible to effectively tie the Beaver Creek Road to the Black Hills Road and Trail system and encourage outdoor recreation enthusiasts to make Newcastle their base while they explore Mount Rushmore, Devil's Tower, and the other treasures the area has to offer. Newcastle, Wyoming is a tough little town that has toughed it out through some hard times, including the closing of the sawmill, several oil companies, the feedlot at the LAK, and scores of local businesses. A new partnership between True Ranches and the state of Wyoming that also involves the Eastern Weston County Recreation District could drastically alter the fortunes of our community and make it possible for us to compete for tourist dollars with the overcrowded communities just across the South Dakota border to our east. The purchase and installation of the Wyoming Wibit would cost only 1/10 as much as other water enhancement projects. Because of our proximity to Custer and Deadwood, South Dakota, and the tourist dollars that flow there, a water sports park, which does not exist in the Black Hills yet, would produce a much greater economic impact than it would in other communities. It would also provide residents with an enhancement that would greatly improve their own quality of life while providing new jobs and a more solid economy. We respectfully ask that the three partners give favorable consideration to this proposal and agree to discuss the steps that will need to be taken to install a water sports park at the LAK Reservoir and make it available to the public by Memorial Day 2024.